What's going on, guys? It's Commander RestlessCorpse, and we're back here with Elite Dangerous, and we're on our way back from the core. I've done maybe 100 light years or so, and I found this guy. I mean, I like gas giants, you guys know, and there's nothing particularly special about this gas giant. I think it's like a class 1 or whatever, but I don't know. I like the colors and the rings and whatnot, and that's generally all it takes for me to want to take a screenshot. But anyway, it takes forever to plot a course so far because we're still kind of close to the core. So I do have a course plotted. So why don't we go ahead and just start exploring? I don't necessarily have anything special to talk about today, but I did want to talk about, or I did want to say that I appreciate everybody's congratulations and stuff for finally getting to the core. It seems like I started this so long ago. And I could have made it to the core super fast, I suppose. I know there's people that do it in 8 hours or something. Technically, a trip to the core and back, you can get it done in 2 days or one if you just play for many hours straight, which sometimes I do. But I wanted it to be a cool experience, and I didn't want to record a whole bunch of episodes in advance and just pump them out each day because sometimes I like to talk about shit that's going on in the Elite Dangerous community. So I made the effort and the commitment to do it day by day. So, that's what I'm doing. So it's going to take me forever to get back. But whatever. We're all having fun, right? Anyway, let's get to it. What's kind of funny to think about is the fact that I've been exploring for, I think I started around episode 17 or something like that, and we're at episode 80. I've been exploring longer than I've been doing anything else because I think maybe I don't remember exactly what episode it was. I'd have to go look, but I know that if you took my total playtime and you cut it in half, or not necessarily in half, but in 2 pieces, and you had the time I spent in the bubble on one side and the time that I spent exploring on the other side, the time that I've been exploring, it would be drastically more huge than the time that I wasn't exploring. I was hanging out in the bubble, and that's kind of cool. But I've been kind of thinking about that, and when I get back to the bubble and I'm doing regular stuff, it's gonna be completely weird. I know I talked about it in a previous episode where it's been a really long time since I've done any kind of combat or docked in a station. Now, docking in a station is not that tough, and doing things out here, exploring and stuff. I'm still flying around, and I'm still, I still have, I guess, the skills it takes to fly, I guess. So landing in a station or docking in a station is not going to be a problem. Combat shouldn't be a problem because, I've been playing these kinds of games for a long time, but it's still going to take a little bit of getting used to. So I think that when I get back to the... Well, I need to choose the next one here. When I get back to the bubble, I probably am going to take... I'm still going to do, the daily content and whatnot, but I'm going to probably have to play a little bit more to reacquaint myself with shooting motherfuckers down, you know what I mean? But I'm going to scan these guys up, and I don't know. This video might have quite a few cuts, but I'm going to scan these guys up, and if I find anything awesome within the next couple jumps, I'll let you know. Remember, we're still looking for an Earth-like with a ring. I guess I could probably say I'm actually kind of looking for, say, twin Earth-likes with a moon that I could land on, but let's not get ahead of ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. You know what, guys? I actually do have something that I want to talk about today. It's just not Elite Dangerous related. Now, some of you may know that I am a huge Final Fantasy fanboy. And you guys might have also noticed that I did a video yesterday, or the day before yesterday, one of the two, yesterday for me, on the Final Fantasy 15 Platinum demo. So, back, I think maybe a year ago, I'm not exactly sure how long ago it was, but when Final Fantasy Type 0 HD came out, it came with a Final Fantasy 15 demo called like Episode Dusk or Episode Dusk or something like that. And I played that, and I played it for several hours. Like, I didn't necessarily... When I first started playing, it was kind of weird, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But as time went on, and I realized how big the map was, or at least just the map in the demo, and all the cool things that you can do, and like there was a lot of like points of interest on the map that you can go to. It felt, it felt like an open world, but it kind of felt like... If you played Final Fantasy 13, you may like be hissing at me right now because Final Fantasy 13 is not that great. Let's be honest. But the game actually got like decently good around chapter 11 when it plopped you down on the surface and you could go anywhere you wanted to, and you could take side quests and stuff, and the game actually became really cool. And that's what Final Fantasy 15 episode, I'm going to call it Dusk because I don't remember exactly what it's called. But Episode Dusk, that's what it felt like, and it was really cool. And I kind of got excited for Final Fantasy 15, even though it was such a drastic change from the normal formula. They've done that before, and it worked out. Final Fantasy 12 was a complete change from their normal formula, and I absolutely love 12. It's my top 3. So 15, I was kind of excited about it, especially when you fight the Behemoth, because Behemoth is one of those iconic Final Fantasy character or like monsters that you fight in almost every Final Fantasy, and it's always awesome. Behemoths look cool, and it did not disappoint in 15. It was huge. It was a boss battle. You had to like stalk it for a while. You had to kind of do things to make it a little weaker before you fought it, and you had like when your guys were finally ready to fight it, they came up with this big elaborate plan that didn't work, and you had to run away and go do something else and get something and come back. And the way that you're supposed to beat it in that is you use the Ramuh summon, and the Ramuh summon like absolutely destroys it. Look at all these fucking gas giants. Awesome. And that was really cool because also the Ramuh summon was amazing. Like, if all of the summons in Final Fantasy 15 are as epic as the Ramuh summon, I don't know why I just did that because it's not what I'm doing, then it's going to be really awesome. So I was excited to try this new demo. And I know it's not necessarily new. It's been out for a while. I just never really got around to doing it because I was always playing this or, other things. So I fired the demo up. I was really happy that Carbuncle was right on the title screen, because Carbuncle is also an iconic Final Fantasy thing. Especially if you play like Final Fantasy 11 and Final Fantasy 14, Carbuncle was like, everybody loved it. Especially if you played like summoners and whatnot. So I was excited about that. So I fired the game up, and almost immediately it sounded and looked kind of like a modern Phantasy Star game, which that was kind of weird to me, but it's not big. It's not a big deal. It's just some art direction or whatever. So I played a little bit. There's these like crystals that you can grab in a line that makes it feel like a Sonic game, like you are collecting rings and stuff, and that just kind of put me off of it right off the bat. The combat is very boring. The combat is a lot more akin to like Kingdom Hearts combat, but boring. Like, at least with Kingdom Hearts, you're hitting the button and you like with attacks, and you're using skills and stuff, whereas with the Final Fantasy 15 Platinum demo, you just hold the damn circle down until things are dead. Even if there's multiple enemies, like, never let go of the circle button. You'll kill the enemy and run to the next one and start killing that one. And I really didn't like that. Also, there's these like weird power-up style plates on the ground that you run over to get, and it felt like an arcade game. It didn't feel like a Final Fantasy game. The boss fight with an Iron Giant was decently cool. Like, it broke up the formula a little in the fact that you had to hold square to dodge attacks. So it was like, the combat consisted of holding circle until you needed to dodge, and then holding square until the enemy was done attacking, and then you just start holding circle. Like, the combat is just so uninspired and boring, and I don't know. So that kind of worried me. Like, maybe what if Final Fantasy 15 is just that? the entire time. That's going to be boring as hell. But there is one like saving grace for it. The platinum demo is like a dream sequence from the main character Noctis when he's a child. So maybe only that part is going to be like that. Which confuses me as to why they would choose that as the next part of the game that they're allowing us to see. I don't know. I was very unimpressed with the platinum demo, so I'm worried about how Final Fantasy 15 is going to turn out. I'm still going to get it because I could be wrong about it. And there are actually people that enjoyed the platinum demo. I don't understand you people, but whatever. So we'll see. I mean, I have bought almost every Final Fantasy. I did not play Final Fantasy X-3 or 13-3 because I wasn't, obviously, like I said at the beginning, Final Fantasy 13 was kind of a terrible Final Fantasy until late in the game when it became okay. And then they took Final Fantasy 13-2 and they tried to incorporate that entire thing, but it just wasn't the same. Like, yeah, it was more open. You could go more places, but it was just, the whole game was a rehash of the same places, just in different timelines, and that really bugged me. Until very recently, when I was talking to someone in my Final Fantasy 14 raid group about it, who liked the game, liked 13-2, and I told him that, and he was like, yeah, but that's essentially what Chrono Trigger was. And I had to stop because he's right, and I absolutely love Chrono Trigger. So I might go back at some point and play 13-2, replay it just to see. But I never even touched 13-3 because I didn't finish 13-2, and from what I hear, 13-3 is kind of like 10-2. I don't know, because 10-2 was terrible. I played that for like 6 hours or something and just couldn't play it anymore. But yeah, Final Fantasy 15. I'm on the fence about it. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it or not, but I'm going to get it just to see, because even 13 I bought, and then when I realized I didn't like it, I traded it for something else. I don't remember, but then I bought it again a few years later, and I played it, and I slogged through it. I actually tried to play that game 3 times before I actually finished it, because generally with an RPG, if I spend too much time away from it, I'll start over so that I'm fresh on the story. If I've never played it before, I'll be fresh on the story and, you know, not be wondering what the hell was going on. So we'll see. And I'm sorry to talk your ear off about a completely different game, but I am a Final Fantasy fanboy. I've been playing the Final Fantasy franchise since the very first one, which I swear was 1988. I swear that that's when I played it, was 1988. But many, many years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago, something like that, I played through Final Fantasy 1 again, and the in-game title screen said 90. So, look, I am confused as hell, basically based on, my life, I guess, because I know where I was in 1988, and I know where I was in 1990, and I swear to God, the first place, because I was living with my cousins up until 88. When I was 8 years old, I moved back in with my parents. And I played this game while I was living with my cousins. But title screen says 90, so I don't know. I moved around a lot when I was a kid. Sometimes it gets a little weird, like timeline-wise. I don't remember where the hell I was in certain places, but I distinctly remember that one. But apparently I was wrong. In any case, that's my Final Fantasy anecdote. I've been playing them forever. If I had to, like I said, 12 was in my top 3. My top 3 is actually in this order: Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 12. I like a whole bunch of other ones as well, but those are my top 3. So I've also kind of been thinking about how much money that this expedition is going to get me. And now a lot of people are saying in the comments that they, you know, sometimes they get like 40 million or something like that. I know that some people on Reddit have said they've gotten like a lot more than that or a lot less than that. I'm not exactly sure how much I'm going to get, because it doesn't feel like, knowing the prices or the values of a lot of the things that I've scanned, it doesn't really feel like I'm going to get a whole lot. But I guess that also, what do we have? Oh, Sweet. It also, I guess, takes into account how many systems I've come into and used my advanced scanner. And, you know, that gets you money too. So it's not like if I didn't scan it, I don't get money. Just scanning them with a detailed service scanner just gets you more money. So, I mean, I could be wrong about how much I'm going to get. I just don't, like, I don't have my hopes up for how much I'm going to get. All right? Someone said, you know, when you get back, you should buy an anaconda. And it's like, look, I don't think I'm going to have enough money for an anaconda, to be honest. Just added to the amount that I've got now, I seriously doubt that I'm going to make enough to get an anaconda. And even if I did, it wouldn't be enough to outfit it in any in any useful fashion. You know what I mean? So, what I've been thinking is, even though I said that I was going to go straight back, I remember that there is a crazy neutron star and black hole patch many light years above me. So I think that last night, before I was done, like after I was done recording, but before I was done jumping, I went up about 1,000 light years on the galactic plane and couldn't find a neutron star patch there. But I think I'm still too close to the core, because remember, on my way there, I ran out of patch, and I had to go back down to the plane, and that was maybe 12 or 1,300 light years away from the core. So when I get a little further out, I'm going to check up and see if I can find that patch again. Even though it's not exactly in the same like area, I'm sure it's all over the place. So hopefully I'll be able to find another one of those and pad the exploration data just a little bit more before we get home. So that is the plan. And normally I would wait to end the video until I actually got to my destination, and it's only 4 jumps away, but it's just a random star. Remember, I'm just plotting courses that take me back toward home. I did want to say, though, that so the entire journey to the core, I've been staring at what you're looking at right now. Like the core itself, all the space dust and, you know, densely packed stars and stuff. And I'm kind of bummed that on the way back to the bubble, eventually I'm going to get past this. And I'm pointing at it, but you can't see what the hell I'm pointing at. But eventually I'm going to get past that, and all of my jumps are going to be made out like looking at a featureless just stars. Like, I'm not going to have this cool galactic core area that I'm looking at now. So I'm just kind of bummed about that. It's not that big of a deal, I guess. Maybe I'll be able to see like nebulas and stuff off in the distance, but I'm kind of bummed about that. I've gotten used to it. Even when I was in the core, I could see it. So, I don't know. But anyway, I am going to let you guys go here after I check the system map to make sure nothing awesome is in here. Nope, it's a bunch of metal and rocks. So, once again, thanks for everybody's congratulations. It was a big moment for me because it had, you know, taken me so long to get there. And I like hearing you guys' stories about this kind of stuff. Like, you know, people will tell me that when they went to the core, you know, it took them this long or whatever. I think it's really cool. I like, you know, being able to do stuff that you guys have also done or want to do. I get a lot of comments about how people can't wait until they can afford a ship to come out and explore. Look, you can do it in almost anything. I just saw a post on Reddit today about a Sidewinder that made it to Beagle Point, I think, or at least Sagittarius A. So, I mean, that's really cool. I have no fucking clue how you would do that in a Sidewinder. I think you'd have to use the FSD boost liberally, because I think that Beagle Point, isn't it like really far away from the closest star to it or something like that? I can't see that a Sidewinder would ever have that kind of jump range, but apparently they made it, and that's really cool. I know people make the I've seen threads of people making it in all kinds of different ships. I know that there's a guy out there in a hauler at the moment, Creepy Productions. What's going on, bro? I know you watch because I've seen you comment. So, I mean, it can be done. You don't have to have a specific ship to explore. I just chose the Asp Explorer because I guess it's the most popular for exploration. I guess an Anaconda does it better, but I don't have one. So, if you're thinking about getting out here and exploring, but you just don't have the right quote-unquote ship, or the quote-unquote right ship, just do it. Just buy the best FSD drive you can, and I think you'll be alright. Cut down on a little bit of weight if you have to. I mean, my maximum jump range is like almost 25 light years, so I mean, if you've got 20 light years, I think you'll be okay. In any case, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see more videos of Elite Dangerous or any of the other videos that I've done, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you have anything to say, throw it down in the comments. Remember, I'm Commander RestlessCorpse. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Eject. 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 Eject.